Let's talk about Apple. That name alone brings up so much innovation, killer design, and a level of market power that most companies can only dream of. But here's the thing, even for a giant like Apple, the future is never a sure thing. Today, we're diving into a strategic analysis that shows Apple standing at a huge crossroads, staring down some massive challenges that are going to define who they are for the next decade. Let's get right into it.
To really get a sense of what's on the line, just look at this number. $880 billion. That's what the Apple brand, just the brand itself, is estimated to be worth. It is by far the most valuable in the world. This isn't just a company, it's a global phenomenon. But what if all that success, all that value, is built on a foundation that's starting to show some serious cracks?
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because this chart tells two very different stories. On the one hand, yeah, it looks pretty diversified, but then you look closer. See that giant purple slice? That's the iPhone. It accounts for about half of all their revenue. For all its incredible success, Apple's entire empire basically rests on this one product in a market that's already packed, and that right there is a huge vulnerability. So that brings us to the big idea for this whole explainer. Think of Apple as this massive fortress. It's powerful, it's rich, it seems untouchable. But what we're gonna do is look at all the forces, both from the inside and the outside, that are basically laying siege to its walls. And let's be clear, this fortress is an absolute beast. I mean, you've got the world's most valuable brand, an ecosystem so locked in it creates this incredible loyalty, a war chest of over $160 billion in cash, and operations that are pretty much the gold standard for the entire industry. These are some seriously powerful defenses. But here's where we start to see the cracks forming from the inside. We already talked about the huge reliance on the iPhone, but there's also the fact that their premium prices make it tough to grow in developing markets. And that famous walled garden, their closed ecosystem, well, it's great for keeping you locked in, but it can also choke off outside innovation and make Apple a little slow to jump on big new trends like AI and augmented reality. And hey, the pressure isn't just coming from within. This analysis here, a pestle analysis, shows you the whole external siege. Politically, you've got US-China tensions threatening their entire manufacturing setup. Economically, inflation is squeezing everybody's wallets, which means less money for expensive new phones. And legally, you've got things like the EU's Digital Markets Act basically forcing Apple to open up its App Store, dismantling a hugely profitable part of its business. So the key takeaway here is that Apple isn't just playing on an empty field. This framework, Porter's 5 Forces, shows just how cutthroat the competition really is. The threat from substitutes like Google and Samsung? High. The rivalry with other tech giants? Oh, it's very high. And buyers, you and me, we've got plenty of power to switch if we want to. The only thing that's a low threat is new companies trying to enter the market. Because, who can afford to build another Apple from the ground up? Okay, so the fortress is being attacked from all sides. The big question now is, what's the next move? Apple is truly at a strategic crossroads, and they have to choose their next path, well, very, very carefully. And this slide basically lays out the menu of options. Path 1, double down on digital and financial services. That's their fastest growing area. Path 2, bet the farm on the future, on AI and AR. Path 3, play defense and secure their supply chain. Or Path 4, completely redefine their brand by becoming the leader in sustainability and ethics. Each of these choices is huge, with its own massive opportunities and risks. But what if the best move isn't to just pick one of these? The strategy being recommended here is actually a really clever combination of two of them. It's a two-part plan that's really built for a whole new era of tech. And this just illustrates the synergy perfectly. On one side, you have AI-driven digital services. Think of this as the growth engine. You use AI to make services like Apple Pay and iCloud way smarter, way more personal, and way more profitable. That directly attacks the whole iPhone dependency problem. Then, on the other side, you have sustainable and ethical innovation. And this is the trust engine. In a world of data scandals and fake news, this builds an unbreakable bond with customers, proving Apple is a company you can actually count on. So the new goal here isn't just to sell more gadgets. It's a fundamental shift in what Apple is. The strategy is to transform Apple from a company that mostly sells shiny boxes into something way bigger, a sustainable innovation ecosystem where the services, the ethics, and the hardware all feed into each other.
And look, this isn't just some vague, feel-good idea. It's backed by hard, measurable targets for 2030. Get this. They want to boost services revenue from 25% to a massive 40%. They want to hit a net zero carbon footprint, and they want to move almost half of their manufacturing out of China to reduce risk. These are incredibly ambitious, game-changing goals.
At the end of the day, this quote from the analysis really just nails it. The goal isn't just to win in the market anymore. It's about setting the standard for the entire industry, proving that you can make huge profits while also having a real purpose. It's about leading in innovation and in ethics. So that kind of leaves us with one final big question to think about. In this new world we're entering, where tech is so powerful and so personal, and where things like data privacy and ethics are on everyone's mind, what does it really mean to be the leader? Maybe, just maybe, being the biggest or the most profitable isn't what matters most anymore. Maybe the most valuable thing you can be is the one company that everyone truly trusts.